Leaders are wired to fix problems. It's part of the job description, the culture, the expectations, the brain. But constant exposure to risk, urgency, and responsibility can lock you into a deficit focus. What's broken? What's missing? What's wrong? Who's late? What needs to be fixed? You become a professional firefighter and your nervous system is permanently on high alert. You know I'm talking to you. Wake-up calls expose the limits of that way of living, and they make a leader realize fear doesn't sustain you. Hope through reflection does. So why do leaders get stuck in the what's wrong deficit mindset? Why don't we just say, I'm going to focus on what's possible and be done with it? There's 4 reasons why we stay in a what's wrong mindset. Number 1 is negativity bias. The brain flags threats 5 times more urgently than opportunities. Negativity bias. My friend Katheria and I spoke once about how we could line up 99 people to say how amazing we are and how awesome our work product was. And one person could have a little bit of constructive feedback or, heaven forbid, negative review. And what am I going to remember at the end of the day? What am I going to obsess about, ruminate on? Am I going to honor those 99 people who found value in what I did or brought or am? Or am I going to hyper-focus on that one person who had beef? Second reason why we get stuck in a deficit mindset of what's wrong is organizational pressure. Leaders are rewarded for problem solving, not for pausing and reflecting. But what if, starting today, we could change that and make reflection a superpower because of the indirect results it can create, not just the direct, visible, tangible, immediate results? Organizational pressure. The third reason we get stuck in what's wrong is perfectionistic identity loops, where our worth is tied to fixing, not creating and reinventing. Perfectionism is a false promise, and it's actually a form of hiding from our beautiful, imperfect self. And then the fourth reason we get stuck in what's wrong mindset is survival mode decision-making. Chronic stress narrows your field of vision. You actually see fewer solutions because you are so cortisol pumped up from stress that you're only running from one stone of stress and what's wrong to the next stone. You don't see the lily pads of hope all around you. But a wake-up call snaps a leader out of that trance. And reflection can do 3 things. It can provide perspective, direction, and courage. Reflection can provide perspective that reframes challenges as data, not personal failure. That didn't go well. What insight could I take? That perspective. One thing I love, my coach said to me, what if this isn't happening to you? What if this is happening for you? What is this situation here to teach you or unlock in you? I love that. Perspective. That's one thing reflection does. A second thing that reflection does is it provides direction. It asks, what's the next right step from here? Take the hit and bounce, my old boss used to say. What direction are you going to bounce in? Or are you just going to slow tap on the floor until the ball stops? No, take the hit and bounce forward. And then the third thing that reflection can do for us is courage. It fuels vulnerability, boundary setting, and truth telling. The closer you can get to being your true, authentic, vulnerable self, The more you live in your truth and the stronger you get, and the less protected you feel you have to be everywhere you go, and the less perfectionistic you fool yourself into believing you must be in order to be enough. Reflection is a leadership skill. Reflection allows us to name reality without dramatizing it, to clarify what matters most, to create pathways instead of panic, and to choose presence over pace. Reflection helps us reset strained relationships instead of writing people off. It helps us to delegate with trust instead of control and lead with legacy, not ego. And finally, it helps us to make decisions from values, not fear. So if a wake-up call cracks us open, reflection is how we decide who we're going to be next. In the next segment, we're going to zoom in on the science of reflection, and it's really cool, nerdy science that you're going to dig. I want you to stay with me. Now, think about reflection and wiring of your brain and some very practical tools you can use every single day. To start, here's a truth we don't like to admit, that holding a grudge feels powerful. Have you ever held a grudge? It feels powerful right up until it hollows us out. A grudge is a story we keep rehearsing because we didn't feel seen or valued or protected or respected. It's the brain's attempt to finish a chapter that never got the ending it deserved. But here's the reality. Every time we replay that hurt, we reinforce the neural circuitry of pain, not resolution. And that is the trap. A grudge tricks us into believing it's a shield, but shields are heavy and most of us are tired. So let me offer you a reframing. A grudge isn't proof of strength. It's evidence of an unmet need. Maybe you needed an apology that never came. Maybe you needed clarity that you didn't get. Or you needed someone to say, I understand why that hurt. When we name the unmet need, the grudge loosens. When we get curious, the story starts breathing again. That stale old story we cram into the corner of our heart and leave there for cobwebs to take over. When we choose perspective over resentment, we reclaim our agency and wipe the cobwebs off the corner of our heart and let the light in. Letting go isn't letting someone off the hook. It's unhooking yourself from a moment that no longer deserves front row seating in your life.